What's going on, everyone? This is the last video in the three-part division-wide grade series. Tonight, I'll be looking at the National League West and the American League West, giving each team a grade, talking about what I think what could happen at the deadline, what the second half outlook is like for each team. I guess let's just get right into it. Start off with the Dodgers. Obviously, they get an A. There's not much else you could say about the Dodgers. There's not much that needs to be said realistically. And the Dodgers finished the first half at 61-36. Obviously, they're a wagon. They are clearly the favorites to win the championship again. They're going to go out and make moves at the deadline to show up the pieces that haven't actually been effective for them. The starting pitching is good, despite the fact that Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow have not been there. The bullpen's a little bit shaky at times, but they're going to make moves to shore that up. Kyle Tucker has struggled for most of the first half of the season, but he's kind of starting to pick it up. But other than that, there's not many flaws in this team. Otani's great. Betts, Freeman, Pages has had a big comeback season. The team's legit. So, not much needs to be said about them. The Dodgers are in it to win it. Them, Phillies, and Brewers, as I've said before, the three teams in the East, in the National League that could go to the World Series, and the Dodgers are clearly the favorite there. So I give them an A. The second place team in the division, the Arizona Diamondbacks, I gave them a B. Arizona, I actually didn't think that they would be that good. That's why I gave them a B. Offensively, they're not that good. They're 24th in batting average, 28th in home runs, 26th in on-base percentage. Ketel Marte obviously is a beast. At the first half, 17 home runs for them. Perdomo had a 241 batting average, but a 354 on base percentage, so he's getting on base a lot. Corbin Carroll struggled for them. Only hit 252 with 13 home runs in the first half. Nolan Arenado, unfortunately, is a shell of his old self now. Only hit 243 with 12 home runs and 40 RBIs in the first half. Realistically, going through their stats, I'm not exactly sure how they're in second place. They're not very good offensively, and they're below average, pitching wise. Eduardo Rodriguez has been great for them. 2.29 ERA. Mike Soroka, when he was healthy, unfortunately he's dealing with some injuries. He had a 3.07 ERA. Brandon Pfaadt's been up and down. He had about a 4.7 ERA in the first half. But Merrill Kelly and Zach Gallen have been terrible. Having a 6 and 7 ERA, respectively, for both of them. Going into the season, they were two pieces that they were really going to count on who have not showed up, and somehow they are still in second place. Their bullpen is a big reason why. Taylor Clark, Kevin Gingle, and Juan Moralo have all been outstanding out of the bullpen for Arizona. Second half outlook for them, can they keep this up? With the fact that their offense is so bad and their starting pitching is so inconsistent, I don't think so. I don't foresee them being buyers at the deadline. I foresee them over the next couple weeks losing a few games back here in the wild card and possibly selling a few pieces off, trying to trade Arenado, trying to find somebody to take Gallen. Maybe Merrill Kelly gets moved again. I think Arizona's going to start looking to the future. I know they've realized that this second place in the standings right now isn't really legit. The third place team in the division is the San Diego Padres. I gave them a D. The Padres should be much better than this. They finished the first half at 48-48. They're 12.5 out of first, 3.5 games out of the wild card. Excuse me. They have a 226 batting average as a team, which is terrible. 99 home runs, which is 22nd in the league. 302 on base percentage, which is dead last in the league. So offensively, they're not very good. Their 4.23 team ERA is 17th, and they got a 1.34 WHIP, which is 22nd. So again, they're a below average baseball team according to the stats, and that's exactly what their record's an average baseball team, and they're below average. Fernando Tatis only hit 227 in the first half. 277. I'm sorry, but only had 5 home runs in the first half. Xander Bogaerts had 224 with 9 home runs. Gavin Sheets, had 14 home runs. Manny Machado had 19 home runs in the first half, but only hit 203. Now, I say only hit 203 because a couple weeks ago he was batting like 150. So he has picked it up lately. Um, the back end of the bullpen is outstanding. Mordron, Miller, and Wandy Peralta has been outstanding. So the Padres, if they have the lead late, they're most likely going to win. It's just been a problem of getting there with the lead. Second half of the season, I mean, the Padres are going to buy. Their GM is a big time buyer. He's going to look at this and see it only 3.5 games out of a wild card. He's not going to sell. So they're going to go make moves. They're going to try to shore up, get a couple of bats, try to get another pitching piece, I think. And they're going to try to, make the playoffs and see as far as they can go. Fourth place team in the division is the San Francisco Giants. I also gave them a D. They actually will surprisingly have a pretty good team batting average at 256. Their 106 home runs is 28th in the league. 310 on base percentage is 25th in the league. So they don't give any walks. That's basically what that tells me because they have a high batting average. Their pitching, they have a 4.46 ERA, which is 22nd in the league, and a 1.37 WHIP, which is also 22nd in the league. Okay. Positives for the Giants. Luis Ariz is outstanding. 330 batting average. The dude can hit. He's definitely one of the best hitters, arguably the best hitter in the league. I do foresee the Giants possibly moving him in a couple of weeks, though. Rafael Devers had a good first half. Maybe not by his standards, but by normal standards. 249 with 19 home runs. Willie Adames hit 230 with 15 home runs. Casey Schmidt has been a find for the Giants and had an outstanding first half. Hit 280 with 19 home runs. Ji Hong Yu hit 302 in the first half. That dude can also just hit. Pitching staff wise, again, they're an average team. Robbie Ray had a 3.38 ERA. That was the leading ERA. Logan Webb had a 3.86. Landon Roop had a 4.27. I gave him a D because they're just not very good. I mean, let's just be honest here. I mean, it's called a spade a spade. They're just not very good. And I believe they actually got worse than I thought they would be. I thought Rafael Devers would hit better. I thought Logan Webb would be more consistent for him. I thought their bullpen would be better. But I still didn't think they were very good. I just thought they'd be better. So I gave them a D for their first half. The last place team in the West, the Colorado Rockies, I gave them a C. Yes, they're a last place team, and I gave them a C because they are a fun last place team. If you haven't been paying attention to the Rockies, I mean, they have an outstanding offense. They really can hit. Their problem is pitching, and it's always going to be the problem in Coors Field. Their pitching is never going to be good. But, I mean, Jake McCarthy has had an outstanding season for them, had a 301 batting average in the first half with 9 home runs. He's probably going to get moved in a couple of weeks. Hunter Goodman, I mean, what can you say about this man? 254, 27 home runs in the first half. JT Rumfeld had a 286 batting average, but a 380 on base percentage. Willie Castro, Kyle Carros, Troy Johnson all had solid first halves. The Rockies can hit, like I said. I mean, they're a good offense team. They're a fun watch. They play a lot of high-scoring games, obviously, because their starting rotation is just not good. I mean, Michael Lorenzen and Kyle Freeland both have sub-7 ERAs. Feltner has been solid, and Feltner is the type of guy I can see moving for, maybe lower level pieces, but somebody saying, we could take him on as a 4th or 5th starter. He doesn't miss many bats, and that's his problem. But maybe if you get out of Coors Field, the balls move a little bit more. Maybe he will miss a few more bats. He had a 4.56 ERA in the first half, so having a 4.56 ERA in Colorado actually is pretty damn good. Sogano also had a pretty good first half. His ERA was in the 4s. So if you have an ERA in the 4s in Colorado, I'm going to say you had a solid first half. Chase Dollander out of the bullpen had a 3.89. That was outstanding. Bernardino had a 2.97 ERA. So both of those guys could be moved. Bernardino is definitely probably going to be moved at the deadline. So their second half outlook, I mean, let's just be honest. They need to sell some of these pieces off. I would try to move Kyle Freeland. They've been talking about it for years. They just never done it. Feltner, like I said, they could probably move. McCarthy's probably going to be traded. You could probably trade Willie Castro. The Rockies have talent, though. For the first time in a long time, you see the building blocks of something special with this team. And if they can only find a way to get some decent to average pitching, They could make their way back to the playoffs in the coming years, but I mean, in Colorado, it's easier said than done. But I'm excited to see what the Rockies are going to do next. I'm excited to see what moves they make at the deadline, and I'm excited to watch them play baseball on a regular basis because these guys are fun. They're having a good time. Yes, they're in last, but they're enjoying themselves and they're competitive. For the first time in years, the Rockies are competitive. All right, switching over to the American League West. Now this division is nuts. Okay, um, if there is one unpredictable division, it is this. And I mean, the first place Texas Rangers are 2 games over 500. Like, and I'm not even quite sure how the Rangers are 2 games over 500. But the winner of this division is the leader of this division is almost a 500 baseball team at the break. So let's start off with the Rangers. Obviously, I gave them a B for the 49 to 47 first place record. They had a 245 batting average, which is 12th in the league. 109 home runs was 19th, so they don't really hit a whole lot of home runs, but in that ballpark, it's kind of tough to hit home runs. They did have a 320 on base percentage, which was 12th in the league, so they do get on base a decent amount. Their 4.13 ERA is 13th in the league, and their 1.25 WHIP is 10th in the league. Brandon Nimmo had a solid first half with a 263 batting average. Jake Berger had 16 home runs. So offensively, they had some guys. Ezekiel Duran had 270 average at the break with 10 home runs. Kyle Seager, I don't like. He's had some injury problems this season, but he's also, I think, starting to go on the downside of his career. He only hit 182 in the first half with 10 home runs. Evan Carter only hit 188 with 10 home runs. Josh Young had a decent first half with a 298 average and 9 home runs. Wyatt Langford hit 275 with 9 home runs. So I mean, the Rangers actually could be better than what their record is. Had Seager and Evan Carter actually had decent first halves. So I looked at the second half though. Their pitching staff has been good. Nathan Eovaldi, Mackenzie Gore, Jacob DeGrom were all solid starters. Tyler Alexander and Jacob Junis out of the bullpen both had 2 ERAs, and Jacob Latz, their closer, had a 1.61 ERA in the first half. So if they have a lead late, they have the ability to hang on to it. But okay, I suspect Seager and Evan Carter will pick it up, but will the rest of the guys slow down? So my second half outlook for the Rangers, I do believe they're gonna be buyers. They're gonna make a couple moves to try to shore up, this offense, get a little bit more run support out there for that pitching that's been pretty good actually. I don't foresee them winning this division. The second place team in this division, I believe, is going to end up winning it, and that's Seattle. I gave Seattle a C for their first half. They were 48 and 49, a game and a half out of first place. They are currently the second wild card, I believe. Seattle's offense is not as good as I thought it would be, but somehow they're sitting there with this, with a game and a half out of first place, which is why I gave them a C. Their 230 batting average is 27th in the league. They had 115 home runs, which is 14th. A 310 on base percentage, which is 22nd in the league. So, like I said, they have not been very good offensively. But pitching wise, they got a 3.61 ERA, which is top 5 in the league. A 1.18 WHIP, which is 4th in the league. All right, let's go look at the offense. Randy Arozarena was solid, 286 with 11 home runs. Julio Rodriguez had 259 with 14 home runs. Josh Naylor hit 252 but only 8 home runs. Cole Young was 253 with 11 home runs. Now, this is the big one here. Cal Riley, coming off of his 60 home run season, hit 169 with 9 home runs. Now, granted, he did miss about a month, 4 weeks a month with an injury, but only to have 9 home runs at the break with a 169 batting average, and somehow they're still in second place. If you said that Seattle at the beginning of the season that he would only have a 169 batting average with 9 home runs at the break and you were in second place, I think they would have taken that any day of the week. Emerson Hancock, a starter, has been outstanding for him. 3.17 ERA in the first half. Bryce Miller had a 2.18 ERA, so obviously he was pitching like a Cy Young candidate for most of the first half. Logan Gilbert and George Kirby are solid. So, I mean, if they can shore up that offense a little bit, which I think they will at the deadline, and I think they'll get some of their production will be better in the second half. I think Cal Riley will hit better. I think Luke Raley will be better. I think J.P. Crawford will be better. This is a team that has a track record of being a better offensive team and I foresee them coming back to that in the second half. I believe they do win this division. I do believe they could possibly get a first round bye. Also, I think they could, but I don't think they're going to get there. I don't think. Well, actually, with that said, I think they could. Actually, I think Seattle could win this division and get to the second best record in the American League. I think they got to make a couple moves though. So at the deadline, make that happen, and I think they will. So Seattle, I have them winning the division in the second half. The third place team in this division is the Houston Astros. I gave the Astros a B. I have no idea how the Astros are this good. I thought they'd be the fourth place team in this division. Yordan Alvarez is a major reason why they are this good. I mean, the dude's the MVP of the American League right now. I mean, just hands it to him. 318 average, 31 home runs, 70 RBIs, a 426 on base percentage. Like, this guy's getting walked like every other time up and still has 70 RBIs. Their 242 team batting average is 17th in the league. 133 home runs is third in the league. But again, when you have Yordan, you're going to have a lot of team home runs. 315 on base percentage is 16, so it's about average. Their starting pitching at 4.81 ERA is 27th in the league. Their 1.4 on WHIP is 26th in the league. So, okay, now offensively they got some good power. Christian Walker had 20 home runs. Jenny Pena hit 287, but had some injury problems in the first half. Jose Altuve has struggled. He's only hit about 227 for most of the first half. Isaac Paredes only hit about 250 in the first half. So those guys actually could pick it up and be better in the second half. Phil Lambert has been a fine for them. Peter Lambert, excuse me, has been a fine for them. He was the leading starting pitcher in the first half of the season with a 3.14 ERA. Hunter Brown was solid with a 3.57 ERA. Josh Hader's been outstanding at the back end of the bullpen. They got Abreu setting up for him, who's also outstanding. So if the Astros get a lead late, you are in trouble. I don't believe they can keep it up, though. I don't believe that they're going to be able to finish third in this division. I do not believe they're going to make the playoffs. I also do believe that they should sell at the deadline. I think they should look at this as false hope with where they are and sell off some pieces and try to build towards the future, because there's not much else behind what they have right now. So I think they really do need to start building for the future, because they don't scare anybody in the playoff series. If they did sneak into the playoffs, they're out in the first round. So, I mean, I don't think it's prudent for them to not sell and try to get better. All right, the last two teams in this division, okay, the Athletics, I gave them a D. I mean, they've lost 17 out of the last 20 games. Their pitching is horrendous. That ballpark they're playing in, yes, it's a minor league park, but it is almost impossible to pitch in. And these guys are feeling it. And their team ERA is 5.20, which is dead last in the American League. Their 1.47 WHIP is almost dead last in the American League. Now, offensively, they have weapons. Obviously, Nick Kurtz is outstanding. Langelier is outstanding. Tyler Soderstrom is outstanding. I like the young talent they have on offense, and I think when they get out to Vegas, which, by the way, I mean, people aren't really talking about it, but Vegas could be just as bad as Sacramento. Vegas is probably going to end up being the second hardest ballpark to pitch in the major leagues, behind Colorado, of course. So I think the A's may always have this problem trying to find good pitching, in these ballparks. But, I mean, losing 17 out of the last 20. I mean, in May, the A's were in first place in this division, and now they sit 11 and a half games out of it. I mean, they're 16 games under 500 at the break from a team that was in first place in May. So that's why I'm giving them a D. And I honestly, it could be trending towards an F for this team. Again, their offensive pieces are there. Jacob Wilson is a guy I didn't mention. He's also another one who's a very good young player. The offensive weapons are there. I just don't foresee how this team is going to find pitching. And I think they need to try to sell parts off at the deadline to continue to get better, continue to grow that farm system, and hope that they catch lightning in a bottle with some of these pitchers that are going to come up. Now, the last place team in this division is the Los Angeles Angels, and I gave them an F. The Angels have no direction. The Angels' ownership, management completely sucks. All right, some positives. Reed Detmers and Jose Soriano are both very competent starting pitching. For some reason, I just can't get over the hump. The poor kid Johnson they just brought up is overmatched at the major league level. He's not ready. They got him up there. Um, some of the other young pitchers just are overmatched in this league, but because there's nothing else, the Angels got to use them. Offensively, they got some nice pieces. Zach Neto is a decent talent, but right now he's more up and down than he should be. Mike Trout is obviously Mike Trout. Jorge Soler is a guy that I think they can move in a couple of weeks at the deadline. He's a guy that is a big bat late in the game for a team. Joe Adele, I also think they can move in the next couple of weeks. Nolan Shotwell, I don't think they will move, but he's a possibility. I'm going to say this. If I'm the Angels, I'm open for business. Everybody on my team can go because you got to build up this farm system because they also have one of the worst farm systems in the league. Now, going back a couple years ago, they could have shored up that farm system by trading Ohtani to the Dodgers, but the ownership said we can't make that move to the Dodgers, which is ridiculous because Ohtani ended up there anyway. But I digress. There's not much positive to say about this team, so I'm not going to waste too much time on them. The Angels are going nowhere. They have no direction. Get Reed Detmers out of there, please, for the love of God, in the next couple of weeks. Get him to a contender where he can actually thrive and maybe grow in a pennant race. Get Soriano out of there. A team that needs somebody who can eat innings will probably take him. I can see Tampa Bay looking at him. I can see Milwaukee looking at him, even though they just made the move from McCullers. I could also see Texas looking at him just to get another guy in there to eat some innings. I can see the Padres looking at him. Again, there's a bunch of teams out there that would like a Soriano because he pitches a lot of innings and can eat some innings. I can see Atlanta looking at him. Mike Trout is the big question here. Does Mike Trout actually get moved? Once again, being in Philadelphia, I hear a lot of Mike Trout to the Phillies rumors. I don't buy them for a second. I don't think he's going to be traded. He also has to say whether he's traded or not, which makes it tough. But I don't think the Angels want to trade him because he's one of the only reasons to go to the ballpark, and that ownership only cares about putting butts in the seats. They don't particularly care about improving. They just care about making by each year. So, like I said, I think Soler could be moved. Joe Adele should be moved. Blow this thing up, LA, please, for the love of God. Finally blow it up and start over and actually find a direction to go. All right, guys, this video was much faster than the other one I did. Part of that is because I'm a little tired. It's kind of late, but anyway, tomorrow night I'm going to try to do a predictions video. I'm going to talk about where I think the team's going to end up at the end of the season. I'm going to pick my 6 teams for the playoffs in each league. I'll also be picking my Cy Youngs, MVP, Rookie of the Year, Manager of the Year in each league. Talk a little bit about the deadline tomorrow night. So hopefully you guys like this. You subscribe, you tune in, you give me your comments. Tell me if you want a particular video, if you want to talk about something. Look, I'm always open for a discussion. I want to talk baseball. If you want to get in there, let's do it. All right, guys, let's talk about it.